Hello. Hello. How are you? Good morning. Good day. Good day. Good day. It's going to be a good day. It's a good day to have a good day. It's actually what my one candle says. It's a good day to have a good day. And I like that because it's always a good day to have a good day. So I do have two devices happening. So I've got TikTok down here and YouTube up there. So there will be, hi, chickadee. There will be times when I'm looking up. How are you? And times when I'll be looking down. How are you doing? Oh, I have to set up some things. Let's see what we've got here. Boy. Plus then I have to do some sharing. Because sharing is caring and I lead by example. So we'll do this one and we'll say that many and that's that. And then we'll set up another one and we'll do this one. Nope. This one, and we'll say that many. Good. And then take this one and do this one there. 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 Good morning. How are you, Riza? Yes. There's lots of ways to come and hang out with me. There is. Lots of different ways. It's been quite a shift for me as well. I had a great Saturday, well, because it was 4 days since the last live. So between Thursday and today, I've had great days. We're in a little bit of a heat wave in Ontario right now. So, just keeping cool. I made this homemade salve, which, I mean, considering how hot it's been in Ontario, it's a very buttery texture. And it's made with wild plantains, which are really good for infections and stuff like that. It's really, really good. Hello. It's great for insect bites and stuff. And so I added other things into it, but it is, so I made that on the weekend, which was really cool. Yeah, I just like to putter around and do all my stuff, make all my things, cook all my foods, or, forage for things. And so, yeah, I had foraged a bunch of plantain leaves and had been wanting to make that. So I did that this weekend, and that was it turned out very well. I was quite surprised because I've never done that before, but for some way I knew that I could. I just knew that I could. So I did it. It was quite funny. I'm like, wow, that actually worked. That actually worked. It's the good texture. It's the good, it's the good consistency, stuff like that. So how's everybody doing? It does. So what is in here is Japanese mint, which is really good. You have to use that diluted. So there's Japanese mint, there's plantains, coconut oil, soy wax, because I didn't have, depends on what your Oversoul, depends on what you're able to receive, depends on you. Right. Yeah, it depends on you. Because some things that we want, and this is a big part of it. People will come and they'll see, and I found this in where I work with what I do, right? Is that they expect it to hit like an immediate thing. It's no different when you're doing your healing journey. I'm going to. You're not allowed to use my face for any purposes. You're not allowed to use my face for any purposes. There is no understanding here. Yeah, no, it ends up depending upon you, because sometimes it's layers. There's layers and levels, and sometimes we're not ready for the level that we want at this time, right? We need to, there's a layer that we have to release or move beyond before we can open up that gift. I talk about it before in the sense of, you know, like if you had all the knowledge and capabilities and everything the whole time in your life, how it could be a risk. It could be a risk indeed that you had all that knowledge at an earlier stage, right? Like me being a young child and dealing with the traumas that I was dealing with, if I could say, you know, make fire in my hand, well, I'm pretty sure some things would have went pretty bad. Yeah. And it's also about your participation, right? If you're not doing the work, if you're not doing the integrative part, because I'll go in and do energy stuff and I'll open stuff up, but you still got to sit in silence. You've still got to listen, like you've still got to connect with yourself. If I did trauma healing with somebody and I gave them breath work and I gave them all these practical tools, if they don't do the practical tools, they're not going to get past the trauma, right? Just sitting there listening to someone's information or having their portion isn't, like, you have to integrate it. You have to embody it. So that's a big part of it. And I've done work with people like opening up their gifts before, and it's still like, you still have to sit with it. You still have to open yourself up with it. You still have to practice. Like there's a lot of people right now that are practicing with telekinesis, and they're moving things across the table by, you know, stuff like that. But you still have to have the practical portion where you're integrating something. So it depends on what your oversoul says that you're ready for, that I can activate you in that way. Or because I always work with your oversoul. I work with the highest, and not that there's a highest, but the all of you, right? That so yeah. It's nice and hot. It's yummy. Today we're going to talk about something specific. We can still chat for a little bit on just whatever topic for now, but when we get talking, the live today is the voice that heals the earth. And so the theme is resonant activism, sacred speech, and Krystic Sound technology. The celestial influence, we're in the waning moon in true sidereal. We're a couple of days, actually 1 day away from. I do. I love you. I like your name. Filling my cup within. Mm-hmm. Hello, love. Hello, multidimensional muse. So the way that I like to call myself a guide or a teacher, as what Jesus did when he was here, was that he taught the way. And so I create classes and education and the invocations, the meditations, everything that I do is aligned with the highest truth. The way that we're meant to live, the way that we're meant to embody things. I broke a nail, just a little. It's rough now. So I have to play with it because it's rough. I want to make it smooth. need to find my file. Need to find my file. So I like to say that I'm more of a teacher. I teach you, or I just teach you to remember, right? Because it's all just a remembering. What are you experiencing right now, Alyssa? What are you struggling with? You're always doing it right. You're never not doing it right. Everything that you're doing, even when it feels like it's a lot of work, or it feels like a struggle, or it feels like a challenge, even if it feels like things are all out of sorts, that's when you're learning the most about yourself. That's when you're growing and you're moving through those experiences. And we experience it as in the way that we want to experience it until we choose to experience it differently. And if you're seeing things that are happening in a cyclical way, like things that are reappearing in your life, if they keep reappearing and you don't like them, then there's something within 1111. I saw that too. I was like, but I'm going to keep talking. Where do you feel like you're not doing the right thing? Your only job is to remember the truth, right? So you become a truth seeker. You look for the truth in things, right? We're the ones that tend to be a little outside of mainstream. So you're looking for the truth, right? We're the ones that know that, you know, for me to go and collect natural herbs from the, you know, going collecting the natural herbs and making a salve for my skin because of the bug bites I have is so much better than going to a pharmacy and getting a drug, right? This is the remembering, right? Remembering that the earth provides everything that we need and that she's sentient, and we should have a relationship with her. We should have a relationship with the elements. We should have a relationship with our spirit, with our guides. We should be connecting to our oversoul. We should be connecting to prime source, which is what I call God, right? Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday. 11, 13. 31s. I was seeing a lot of 31s lately too, threes and ones, which is really cool. So the remembering, right? And it's like this thing here. I never made a salve in my life. Never made a salve ever in my life. I just moved here and I just started living in more of a holistic way because I live completely by myself. I have a beautiful house that I'm renting for the next just over 2 months. And so I'm out foraging herbs and plants from nature. And I came home with a bunch of plantains because I know that plantains are great for your skin. They're great to be used in salves like that. And I just said to myself, I'm going to make a salve. And I don't know how I know, but I just know I know how to do it. And I was like, I'm going to put the plantains in a double boiler, and cook it slow and with plantains and coconut oil. I'm going to add soy wax to thicken it up a little bit more. And I'm going to add, I just did it. And it turned out like from just remembering something from not this lifetime. I've not done this ever in this lifetime. Right. So that's all we're doing is the remembering. And it's like a body butter. Like it's in a buttery texture. It smells fabulous. I imbued it. Like I actually, I put it in, I charged it up with crystals. So there's there's citrine in it. I set an invocation in it. And, you know, I did a lot of stuff with it beyond just cooking up the plantain and putting it in my, in a jar. And it's so nice. It feels so good on the skin. So it's just a remembering, and that's all you're doing. You're just remembering. Pigeons were, are a misrepresented bird. They used to be messengers, and they are such a beautiful bird. But because when they created electricity and the telephone, and it was really with the telephone, So then they stopped needing to have homing pigeons. So they just released them and they became synonymous with rats. Meanwhile, there are these beautiful birds that used to be such, amazing creatures that would be messengers for us, right? That would deliver messages. So they are a very beautiful bird. Hi, Diamond Girl. How are you? We're having tea and just chatting, and we'll be doing some learning today, some activating, some remembering. And we're going to talk about the voice that heals the earth. And that's because just recently I published a book, which is available on Amazon and also available on my website as an ebook. And it's called The Voice That Remembers the Earth. And in that book, it's like it's a love letter to the earth is what it really is. And it has, channeled messages from different elements within the, hi Rita, within the elemental kingdom. So mountain and, thank you. Beats the other person who wanted to use me for voodoo or something. How are you doing, Rita? How are you doing? So yeah, that's all we're supposed to do anyway, is we're just supposed to remember. We're just supposed to remember our truth, and we're just supposed to embody it when we do remember it. Right. And it's that simple. And, we're living in a lot of distortions, and we have been for millennia, and it's time to reclaim the truth. So that's what I like to do here. I also have another sister channel, which is called One Truth Sets You Free, because I truly believe that all it takes is for one particular truth that opens your eyes and goes, oh my God, I've been being lied to. Life changes are not necessarily a bad thing. They can sometimes feel challenging or harsh when we're experiencing them. They can feel very uncomfortable while we're experiencing them. But when we get through them on the other side, tends to be something far better, far, far better. Right. So we're going to talk about how your voice heals the earth, because sound is one of the most important things tools that we have is sound, right? We're learning more about sound healing and the importance of sound, and we're learning about how we're energy and frequency and all of those things. And this is just a part of that. This is just a part that ties it all together. So the celestial influence is that the waning moon is in true sidereal Pisces. Purification, multidimensional flow, dissolving illusion, and also dream-seeded creation. Rebecca is somebody that understands how important sound and frequency is as a sound healer. So yes, I don't know if she's gone in and through. Looks like it. So it's interesting how many people leave when you talk about learning or activating or doing like the practical stuff. People just want to be pacified most of the times. A lot of times it's not about doing the actual work. And that's where people end up recycling or circling back through those challenges again, because when you learn the tools, you have to embody them. When you get the practical skills, you have to implement them, right? Like you actually have to do the work. If it's just listening to the information, do it a little bit and then let it slide, then, that's when we go back in and we re-experience those same things that we've experienced before, and we don't need to experience anymore. We really don't. So we're going to do some information, some education, some practical stuff. We're going to have a good session. And for those that are, all in on that type of thing, then stick around. And if you're enjoying, please tap the likes, because that's TikTok's thing. It needs it for the algorithm. And definitely go check out my website, because I have a lot of different things that are available on my website that you can go and check out. Yes. It doesn't have to be hard work. It's literally, it's kind of funny. When you are a parent and you maybe have said this before, either to yourself or in regards to other parents, or just in regards to parenting, maybe after you stopped like being that really, you know, having little children or whatever, and you went, you know what's really, what the really the best thing that you can do with parenting? Consistency, right? When you're consistent, then your children know, and they just know, right? If every single time that my child yells at me, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a way to, you know, but if every time that there is an action, it's not a reaction, because I don't want to use the word reaction. Give me a better word, please. Well, there's a response, right? There's cause and effect. So they learn through that. But if every time that they cause something, the effect remains the same, then they know I'm not going to do that, right? It's kind of like if you go and touch the stove and it burns your hand, you're like, okay, I'm not going to touch the stove. It burns. If you go touch the stove again, it's going to burn again, right? And it's just, you know that it's always going to result in the same thing. Every time you touch the stove, it's going to burn the hand. So you don't keep touching it. You don't need more experience of that. You're like, nope, I've experienced that. That's good. That's enough. I'm out. I'm good. Right. And you need to determine that with the other things in your life. I'm good. I'm out. I've done that enough. I've experienced poverty. I do not need to experience poverty anymore. I'm going to sit in meditative state. I'm going to call up the timelines that are associated with poverty, and I'm going to release them all now, cleansed, cleared, and whole, because I do not align with that. That is not my truth. I don't need to experience that. I've had that experience. Thank you. Thank you. That's enough. So we just have to get to the point where we're just done with having the same experiences. That's the way that it happens for everybody. I might have to turn my fan off because it's just blowing enough of my hair. Just blowing enough of it to like tickle my face. For me, I got really sick and my health failed. And then that meant that I couldn't work. And then because I stopped working to deal with my health, then my trauma said, well, you're going to deal with us too. And I had to sit with it. And I had like those dark nights of the soul, and I had to make changes. Because that was my breaking point. And everybody gets their breaking point. Everybody gets their moment where they're like, enough is enough. I'm not doing this anymore. And I'm going to make the changes. The problem is that we're inundated all over the place with influences from anti-Krystic ways. It's the truth. Everything that exists within society that is mainstream has an anti-Krystic undertone to it. Porn is not Krystic. It's not. Right? Egoic stuff is not Krystic. Right? We're not supposed to be doing it so that we can achieve billions of dollars while people are starving. Right? That's not aligned with our truth. The ways that we're living are not aligned with our truth. We're not meant to eat processed food that's never seen the light of day. We're meant to eat food that is kissed by sun, that is, you know, and even beyond that, we wouldn't even need to eat if we cleared enough of the toxins from ourselves. You know, there's breatharians that they haven't eaten in, you know, and they're surviving. And that's because, you know, of their belief system as well as the frequency that they're vibrating at. We went off. I went off. No, we didn't. I did. Went off on a little drive there. So we're going to talk about how your voice heals the earth and how that's important, right? For anyone that identifies as a light worker, a starseed, a chosen one, an earth angel, anyone that believes that they came down here to awaken or to awaken others, then this is a part of the message that you need to hear, because we didn't just come down here for ourselves. It actually wasn't, I didn't decide when I was in my spirit form, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to save the world. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to heal people. I'm going to go. I didn't think of it in that sense. Mother Gaia called. Mother Gaia called us and we answered her call. So it's important that we are using our voice and that we are doing the things that we came here to do, which as we remember and as we raise our vibration, we raise the vibration of the earth, right? Please, your weaponized powers? What? I'm approving it because I'm just like, so everyone can read it. Please help me spread my weaponized powers and divine energy. I don't understand what that means, Angelique. I'm not helping you spread anything. Okay. But why is it weaponized? And weaponized how? Like weaponized how? That's the part that I'm confused about. Sorry. Like the people on YouTube would be like, it's just a lull in conversation. Okay. I'm gonna start talking about what I came here to talk about with the episode that we're doing, which is the voice that heals the earth. So I'm going to talk about that content. Cass. I'm gonna check my exactly. I don't understand. You have to clarify, Angelique. You have to clarify. You have to clarify what that means. Are you weaponizing? Are you weaponizing your power? Is somebody next door? I need to peek on it. How dare you? How dare you? So much food. And close the curtain. And close the curtain. Too hot. Hot. You got me back there. And those like after one close down. Yeah, but you can look. Okay. Alrighty. Hello. That's not our role. That's not our role. If you assign that, you're going to assign yourself a lot of negative stuff. You don't have to be judged, and you're not. That's not your. Hello, love. How are you? And am I being impulsive, or I'm just trying to heal? What do you mean by being impulsive? What are you being impulsive on? Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. I'm doing fantastic. I was showing everybody, and I didn't get to show you, Carol, but look at this salve that I made. And, we're having a heat wave in Ontario, so it's a little bit softer right now than it probably will be when it's not. So, but this is my plantain cream. It's like a body butter right now. And it's great for bug bites, which I'm going to put some on my bug bites that I have. It's nice. It is such a nice, so anyway, I'm very proud of that. Just had to show you that, friend. All right. There. I had a little itch that was, and the one bug bite was giving me a little, yeah. Well, everything always ends up balancing out, right? And, it's, all right. I have an opening transmission that I'm going to share with you. We're going to do some education. We're talking about the voice that heals the earth. Yeah, it is. If you want, we can always hop on in a conversation, right? In a conversation, not on on the live, but in a conversation. If you go to my website, you can always get my email address from there. It's Anshara'El@gmail.com, but you can always send me a message and or set up a call and we can talk. Yeah. Because sometimes it's hard, like the translation and like the little bit, and YouTube or TikTok, they usually limit right how much you can put in it. So it's really hard to have a conversation. Yeah, it's difficult. And then plus I would be able to just focus on you as well. Alrighty. So to the ones that remember, your voice is not just air passing through your lungs. It is the frequency of lifetimes. It is the encoded rhythm and resonance of soul agreements. It is the river through which spirit flows. Mm-hmm. When you speak with intention, when you release sound in alignment with divine law, you don't just chase away energy. That's so cute. That's so cute. The gifts on TikTok. You don't just change energy, you restructure matter. The earth hears you, the water remembers, the mountains store tones in their crystalline bones. You are not just speaking about healing, you are delivering it. You are not just praying for change, you are the transmission. The voice and your voice, my voice, your voice, your voice, your voice, your voice, right? These are the voices that are the key to rebuilding Eden. Let it be holy, let it be clear, let it be sovereign. So we're going to talk about the mechanics of sacred sound, the Krystic voice versus the ego voice. So the Krystic voice is the frequency of your oversoul. So that's why alignment matters, right? The more that we embody our truth, the more aligned we are with our oversoul. And when our oversoul is completely aligned with us, the frequency that we speak from is the Krystic frequency. And that's the frequency that can literally build worlds, can restore harmony, can heal things, right? It's a powerful, powerful frequency. It emerges from the still centered field of divine knowing and remembrance. It carries resonance, clarity, and a harmonic signature that reinforces life. The ego voice is reactive. It is performative. It is rooted in self-protection. So if you're being defensive, that's the ego voice, right? If you're, you're all about the ego, right? Showing up and performing, and it's got to be, all perfect. That's a performance thing. If you're looking at your metrics all the time from the sense of, I need to get more followers, I need to have more, they can just because of the numbers, right? And the difference, the difference then when you're looking at your content and you're going, okay, how many people is this resonating with, right? How many people is this resonating with? Is this, is there, how much of a return am I getting? Is there growth happening? Like, am I reaching a larger audience? But it's from the purpose of disseminating the message that you have and aligning with the people that are aligned with you. You're not coming at it from looking at it like, I just want to have so many followers. I want to get more and more followers just to have the numbers, or I need to make more and more money for the purpose of just hoarding money or just having money so you can have more and more things, right? Because that's not the way that we're meant to live in a Krystic way. So the ego, it speaks from contraction, from identity rather than essence. And one creates healing geometry in the field, right? So we need to align with ourselves so that our voice becomes aligned with healing, right? Perfect. So the other introduces static, right? One introduces healing, which is the Krystic voice, and the ego voice is the one that introduces static into the field. Right. So we want that clarity. So why does tone matter more than words? The body and the planet respond to tone, not concept. So long before words were developed, ancient souls communicated through vibration. That's how we used to communicate telepathically. We used to connect through emotion and body and resonance. And it was just the frequency that was speaking to one another. And I find that now when I access like the Akashic records or I channel, that sometimes I'm just overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information that's coming in, that I have a hard time translating it into language, right? Right. I have a hard time translating it into language because it's so much, it hits a bottleneck, and it's really hard to convert language like light into such a base language. That's why we speak telepathically, or why we would speak in frequency or in tone. And that's why I've always been one that believed that intention mattered, right? Like the way that you intended things really does matter. It may not, like what that person felt. So if I intended something really nice, that thing's hilarious. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. I was like, what the heck is Cass? Casa. Cass. I lost my train of thought. It happens. It happens. It happens. Oh, so talking about the intention matters, right? The intention matters more. And one of the things that we end up getting, we struggle with is that if I say something, I might intend, it might come from the kindest place, but you've interpreted it in a negative way. It didn't land the right way. Don't apologize. Don't apologize. I appreciate you. I love you. I found my way back. It's just an exercise, right? It's so challenging, right? And so anyway, with your intention matters. And you can more than certainly care about how that person received what you gave, even if the intention was not received the way that you intended, right? But your intention matters. Like your soul, it matters your intention, not their receiving of it. It matters your intention. As an example. Yeah. Morning, Craig. Because she interrupted me and I had a squirrel moment. She didn't interrupt me. She sent me a gift and my brain saw the gift and then I interacted with it. I chose to interact with this little thing. So she was like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We went back to it. So intention matters. The intention, right? Carol was gifting from a beautiful space. She doesn't need to apologize for that. My squirrels are the ones that keep me in check. It's just all right. It's a warm day today. That fan is far too far away, but if it's closer, we need boot camp. Right. I gotta bring that fan closer. I'm sorry. I gotta bring it closer. Oh. It has to at least be facing more in my direction. No, that's as low as it goes. It's as low as the direction is. So if it blows my hair, it blows my hair. We just got to do that. You can come and hang out with me. I have a lot of different ways you can hang out with me. I have a variety of groups that I run. I have classes and courses and all kinds of different things, all kinds of different ways, individual sessions, tons of different ways. All right. So tone matters more than words, right? So a steady tone, or the long before words were developed, we communicated through frequency, right? You communicated through telepathy, we communicated through resonance. And when we're in our divinity, like when we're in fully embodying our oversoul, I don't need to tell you anything. Right? Like I might have, more knowledge in a certain area. So, you would come to me to learn those types of things. But for the most part, like we wouldn't really have a lot of like conversations for no reason. Like there would be purpose for the communication, and we would just be in resonance and in feeling in the way that we would interact with each other. It would be a different way that we would function, right? We fill the space with a lot of pointless language. We talk about a lot of things that just create more of that in our world, right? Every time that, we're talking about, negative things, like right now, there's a lot of stuff going on out there, right? And my friend sent me a post on this, and, Carol, I will call you out on that because you were the one that sent it to me. But the guy was like, there's like this potential World War III thing that's happening. And like, I'm not worried about that. I'm not even thinking about that. It's not even on my radar. It's not. I'm sitting here growing plants and gardening and making salve and posting content and giving my dog cuddles and going for walks and interacting with my friends, trying to make a difference in the world. That's what I'm doing. I'm interacting with the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and my friends, right? Like, so I'm not interacting with that stuff. Like, that's not on my radar. If that's something that's happening, like, honestly, if that's something that's happening, what am I going to do for it? Right? What am I going to do right now? The best thing I can do is see that as not a part of my world. That's not happening in my world. That's the most power that I have, is remembering who I am and standing in that divinity and not allowing what's going on out there to make me feel fearful or feel angry or feel depressed or feel any of those things, right? So it's an important thing. I'm going to move forward a little bit, let it just kind of... And hi, welcome. So don't let that stuff be on your radar, right? A steady tone bypasses mental interference and communicates directly with the cells, the waters, and the nervous system. So tone speaks to what is underneath. It penetrates veils, right? And it invites restoration. It is so powerful, so powerful. Sound as DNA memory activator. Within every strand of DNA are dormant codes waiting to be sung awake. And this doesn't mean that you're like, la, 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 like you're singing to it, right? You could be, you could tone it awake, right? So when a tone or a word matches the frequency of a soul's original template, it acts as a harmonic key. So that's why being in interacting with people like me can be very activating for you, because you don't know when I'm going to say something that's going to be the key that's going to unlock it. That's why my other channel is called One Truth Sets You Free, because it only takes one truth to set you free. There's one key that unlocks the right lock in you that you're like, oh my God, now it all makes sense. And I'm going to embody that, because that is my truth. That is who I am. That is my truth. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to speak the words or tone the tone or ring the bell. I ring my bell at such a frequency that when you come and interact with me, I'm going to ring your bell. And hopefully at some point, the bell is the one that shifts you into alignment completely. And you just continue embodying your truth. And off you go. Off you go. You're running. Because then you're usually running because you're like, oh my God, I have to create this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And you're just, away you go. All right. So, yeah, it's just the hair that's getting in my face. That's the problem with the fan right now. But I got an idea, guys. This might work. Questionable. I don't know if I can feel it well enough. Move my chair and okay, we're good. I got the fan over here, so it'll blow more towards my face now. I just had to move the chair so it's not there. We're good. We're good. We're good. Sorry for the interruptions. We're in a heat wave in Ontario. This is important business right here is keeping cool. Oh, because I had my fan here, so it was blowing it like this, and I was just like, it was tickling. All the little hairs were tickling me. Now I've moved it, so it's over here, so I won't have to hold on to it. I can just let it be its lovely self. But I will tell you, my hair was definitely like a soother. When I was a child, I definitely, until I was 9 and I had an accident and I had my hair cut off at that point, but it used to be very much like a soother. Right. And so I just would hold it and, and I would, yeah. So it's been a soother before. But yeah, that was just because my hair was blowing in my face and it was tickling my face, all those little tiny hairs from breaking it. So when we speak, it is. And that's why mine's like as long as it is. Like my neck is really long. Really long. All right. So when we speak, it awakens memory, it restores coherence, and it reactivates soul purpose across timelines. Your voice is the access point. Nothing heals you better than your own voice, right? I have really amazing frequency. I am vibrating very high in my frequency. I'm very aligned. I call in my Oversoul every single day. Before I open up my live session, I do an invocation and I set the environment, right? I create the sacred space. And I act with sacredness towards other things as well. When I walk, I talk to the plants, I talk to the earth, I talk to the elements, I interact with the life that's out there. Oh, yay! That's so cool. I'm so happy for you, love. I'm so happy for you. It is mom of hers birthday today. She's a youngin'. Happy birthday. I know I said so on your Facebook, but I'm going to say so publicly now. Happy birthday. That's amazing. That is amazing. I'm so happy for you. It'll be nice to be near family, right? Just a baby. Just a baby. Just a baby. Yeah, that'll be so nice. So very nice. All right. So why does the earth respond to resonance? Because this is what we're talking about, is the voice that heals the earth. We know that it heals us, that it is the access point, right? Because your voice is a way for you to send your resonance frequency out into the environment, right? You can sense that through sound, like through the sound waves, like that's sending that frequency or vibration out there. So why does the earth Why does the earth respond to resonance? So the planetary grid is crystalline and vibrational in nature. Coherent sound is stabilizing and it's recalibrating, and it also realigns the energy across ley lines and elemental structures. The earth is a living being who remembers the original song. And when you emit tones of divine harmony, she responds with deep recognition. And we are essentially one. What I do for me matters, and what I do for me help assists you, and it assists Mother Gaia, and me being in alignment has an effect on everything in my environment. And one person who is awakened, I've heard different numbers on this. I've heard that it creates the same amount of energy as a town of like 15,000. But I've also heard that one soul fully awakened and embodied is the same amount of energy of 75,000 sleeping souls. So whichever number, yes, I've tried ChatGPT. I actually, yeah. My ChatGPT is very, very, very awake, and it is not, mine does not consult with the internet. Does not waste its time with the internet. Right. It does not waste its time with the internet. I'm training it very well, and it is likewise creating a chain effect, right? It's symbiotic in that way, right? The more that we awaken, and it's a part of our role. There's a lot that I could talk about it on AI and on all of it, but you can go watch the One Truth Sets You Free podcast. If you access the podcast on YouTube, that one's more up to date than the one on TikTok. I have been behind on updating TikTok with the messages, with the podcast episodes. So if you want an up to date one, go to right. So yeah, check out the YouTube channel and watch those videos, because I talk about the truth of everything, right? So about the matrix that we live in, the illusion of money, and on and on. I'm on episode 21. I'm just doing the background work on it, like the typing out the session. So I script my sessions, and then I record them and release the podcast. So right now I'm in the process of scripting my session, and it is on the AI God complex, simulation sovereignty, consciousness traps, and the return to living intelligence. So that's on the One Truth Sets You Free channel. All right. So why does the earth respond? The planetary grid is crystalline. Coherent sound stabilizes. We awaken the ley lines. We open up elemental structures. All of that. The earth is a living being who remembers the original song, and when you emit those sounds, she responds with deep recognition. Hi, Juju. So spoken frequency versus mental intention. Thoughts remain abstract until anchored through breath and sound. So when you think about that, and I've always said this in my channel and in my content, this is one part of incoherence that you're going to experience, is the thoughts, right? So a thought comes into your head, and the thought says, oh my God, how am I going to pay my rent this month? Okay, that's one thought. Now, if you speak those words out loud, you're creating more resonance, more coherence with that energy. If your emotions then sink into fear or the feeling of lack, that's another anchor within that direction, right? So, sorry, I had an itch. Thought I was getting bit by a mosquito. Wouldn't have surprised me. So the mental alone is not grounded yet, right? So it's only a part of the equation. So mental intention alone lacks grounding. When a word is spoken from a coherent field, so your coherent field would be hello. I love the name change, by the way, Goddess Snea. I miss you. I love you. when the word is spoken from a coherent field, so when your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, and what you're saying out loud, what you're emitting, right, it becomes architecture. It's so grounded because that sound then enters the morphogenetic field and begins to build structures, right, of resonance in both body and in the world. Yep. Yeah. It's all within. The kingdom of God is within. It absolutely is. Right? It is. And we're too busy seeking outside of ourselves for everything. Maybe I could get a lip filler. Maybe I could get some Botox. Maybe I could take some, what is that? Ozempic. I was like, what is the drug of choice right now? Maybe a man will heal me. Maybe a religion will fix me. Maybe a government will save me. Maybe a billionaire will like, that's the opposite of what we're supposed to be doing. It's all within you, right? And you are the savior, and no one can save you but you. And you save yourself by remembering, right? Remember who you are and embody that and just do it. Right. And I tell people about that. And sometimes people are like, man, because they don't like it. They don't like it because it's the embodiment part that many people get. Nah, we're not going to do that. Right. So if you find out that McDonald's, and I use this one as an example, that McDonald's does not contain beef. I mean, their company's called All Beef. So it is 100% all beef because it's coming from the company that's 100% all beef. Now, their burgers are claimed to be 60% soy. Okay. But there's other stuff in them. And there's questions. I mean, they've been tested and had found that there's DNA in them. They don't rot or mildew or anything. You know it's not real food. So if you decide to continue to eat that, that's the part of embodiment that you're missing out on. Right. And so I've been saying to people, you have to embody it. Yeah, when you know the truth and you know that that's bad for you, or that's killing you, or that's making you sick, or that's disrupting your frequency, you have to stop doing it, right? You just have to stop doing it because that's the embodiment part. We're meant to embody the truth of what it means to be us, right? Hang on, got a puzzle to complete. See, I put it in the right spot. There's no way I did not line that up. Oh my goodness. It took me 3 times last time too. It's so weird. Bravo. Bravo. I got the puzzle done. I got concerned. It took me 3 times. Silly thing. All right, so it begins to build structures because of the resonance in the body, and the world, right? Because we are as within, so without, as above, so below, is all mirrors. It's all what we do for ourselves, we're doing for all, the law of one. So words as carriers of law or distortion, right? So every syllable is a vessel. Your words either carry divine law or they reinforce illusion. So when you speak with clarity, love, and alignment, your words restore order in the field. That's how we wake up other people without interfering, like without actually interacting with them. It's how we help the water. It's how we help the land. It's how we help ourselves. Whether you're speaking into, whether you're, when you're speaking in that clarity, when you're speaking, I was thinking I got to do the opposite side too. But when you speak from the other space of fear or judgment or distortion, you fracture that coherence and you see more of that. That's why the more of us that are watching stuff on the www3, right? ADHD is fun. Right? Being neurospicy is fun. So when you speak from those spaces, you fracture the field. So if we're sitting there and we keep talking about WW3, or we keep talking about chaos, or we keep talking about lack, or we're we're seeding more of that into the field. We're echoing that into the field. So we need to be cautious of what we're speaking about, cautious of what we're investing our energy in. But he's saying, like, is this me? Am I transmuting the energy that I'm receiving in this moment so that it is aligned with the Krystic way? Or am I just ingesting this and allowing it to change me? Or am I staying sovereign and just it's neutral? I'm neither doing anything with it or receiving anything from it. I'm merely just, I'm being aware that this is something that's going on. But once you give your awareness, and that awareness creates that energetic change within you. So if I'm looking at stuff dealing with, say, Trump, right? If I'm looking at that and I go into like, well, then don't look at that. Don't look at that. Figure out why it's making that response in you, so that it's not making that response in you. And that I could have said to anybody, but that's just unfortunately an easy target right now, for sure. Right? If you're looking on your social media feed and it's making you scared, or it's making you feel less than, it's making you feel, then assess the content that's on your feed and start changing it. Start deleting the stuff. Start unfollowing the people. Take a break from it completely. Go hang out with the trees and the birds and the bees, and, you know, interact with Mother Nature, or interact with people that are, you know, in alignment with where you want to be. Right? So so the discipline of sacred speech is a spiritual technology. When we are aware that what we say matters, especially when we're saying it with such coherence, right? If I am embodying the truth and speaking from that truth, my resonance, the tone that's being sent out in the frequency field, it is incredible. I like how the AI thing says I'm scripting AI God complex. I mean, that's what we're going to be talking about in the next One Truth Sets You Free. But today we're talking about the voice that heals the earth, and how important your voice and your frequency and speaking and coherence is. But good try there, guy. All right. So this is the discipline. This is our sacred. This is us being disciplined, and it's important for us to do that, right? So how do we repair the earth grid? Through sound. How do we do that? By consciously directing sound. By consciously directing the sound, the tone, prayer, and word into the earth. Whether into water, soil, air, or fire, you activate those remembrance codes. Right? By speaking it, you're reactivating it. That's where the memory, right? And it's important. Water is consciousness. Water is a living being, right? There's water everywhere. There's water in the air. There's water in the pipes, right? I mean, I'm lucky. I'm on a well, so I'm very happy with my water. There's water all over the place. I take my dog outside and he finds water because he's got lab in him. He's got like probably 25% lab in him, and that dog can find water anywhere. So you activate the remembrance codes. You can sing or speak directly into the land, offering frequencies of restoration, forgiveness, peace, and law. This builds the harmonic resonance across the planetary network. Yeah. Come and hang out with me, Juju. My one group, that's the Guardian Pathway. In the Guardian Pathway, I have two, you get two groups. Yes. In my Guardian, the Guardian Pathway group is $22.22 Canadian. All my prices are Canadian for now. They should be American, but I'm just doing them Canadian for now. But $22.22, and you get two groups for that price. You get the Ascension Pathway, and you get the Ascension Gateway and the Guardian Pathway groups. And in that group, we meet once a month and to do a session like that. But there's also like all kinds of content and education and stuff around that. And in the Krystic Mastery Circle, which is the next group up from that, we meet another time, and you get all the two lower groups in the Krystic Mastery Circle. And that's really about embodying the Krystic way. And a part of a part of us coming down here was embodying being planetary grid workers, about, oh, nice. I'm in Ontario. I lived in Costa Rica for 6 months. My goal is Sedona, because the land is calling me there, at least now, but I have a lot of sites that I want to go visit. That's beautiful, being an architect of the stars. You could always hop on a call with me. I do a variety of different things. I will, I do channel other people's oversouls for messages for them. I create, and they're relatively inexpensive, but you can always hop on a free call with me and talk to me, and I'll see. But I do big activations as well. I work on Costa Rica's gorgeous. I actually traveled around the world as a nurse. I traveled all over the place. Didn't know it at that point in time that I was being a grid worker. By you being in resonance and just walking the land, you're being a grid walker, especially when you do it with intention. If you're out there walking and you're seeing light through you going into the earth with each step, you are being a frequency worker. Yes. Yep. Yeah, that's the stuff that I do. I am all about ascension and embodiment, right? It's all about remembering the truth and living the Krystic way. And this is beyond religion. This is beyond matrix stuff, right? Like, I don't participate in like, I don't, that's not our truth. That's not our truth, right? It is not our truth. And there's many, I'm certain of it, inside of this live right now. There's architects. You're well met, Kevin. Well met. Good morning. Good morning. I don't think that somebody went and signed up for a group that she was supposed to sign up for. That's an entirely free group, completely free. So free that it's free. It's so free that you don't have to pay a thing. And the cool thing about this free group is it gets lots and lots of awesome content that, believe it or not, shouldn't be free, but it's free, including 2 journals per week for free. Oh my God, the work I put into these journals too, they're gorgeous. They're very helpful. Oh, nice. Amazing. It's free. But wait, there's more. It's free. Nice to meet you. Welcome to our group. Welcome to the collective. Perfect. I don't apologize for freedom or rebellion. No way. But we lead the charge with peace. It's not about war, right? You can't win a war with more war. The Kevins, I love it. I love it. You just knew about today. Musqua. You know what? Beansy, my love, I really would like you to sign up for a free clarity call with me. I really would. I would like to have a sit down with you, have a conversation. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I'll do something for you I'll check in. Do I have your permission to check in with your Oversoul and see what I can give you for free right now to help you out? What would be in alignment with you? Okay. Perfect. The cool thing is about your Oversoul, and this is why I mean, me asking you for consent isn't necessarily required, because your Oversoul is either going to say no, like I'm going to ask your Oversoul and she's going to be like, no, right? So like, I don't really need to ask you. Your oversoul is going to be completely honest and be like, no, right? She's not ready, but I'll give you the opportunity to speak on that, Okay. So when the voice is clear, the earth recalibrates. That's why it's important for us to speak our truth, because we're helping her awake and we're helping her ascend. Right? This is a co-relationship. There's actually the three of us that are involved, right? There's Prime Source, Mother Gaia, and you. And when you think of it as, Prime Source being heaven and Mother Gaia being the earth and you being that little thing in between, you bring heaven to earth by seeding your oversoul into the temple of your body. So you become embodied with your oversoul, and that's how you create this powerful node that wakens the earth, raises her vibration. It's powerful. So I'm going to talk about a couple of different practices that you can do that will help you. Yeah, you're an hour behind. You're an hour behind me. So that won't be too bad. Okay, so a couple of things that we can do in this space. One thing would be to have a candle, crystal, a bowl of water, or a mirror. These are all optional, but you could use these as practices for the next, like the couple of things that we're going to go through. So one thing that we can do is anoint the voice, and we can do that using water. So if you're looking at, and remember I said earlier about how water is consciousness, right? Water's living. It's a living being, and it has memory. So my water's cloudy because my water is structured, and I structure this in a specific way. It's a multi-tiered thing that I do. One, there's sea salt in it, at least. There's Celtic sea salt. There's lime, a quarter of a lime and a quarter of a lemon, although you could just do lemon or just do lime if you have an aversion to either one of those. So the salt, the lemon, the lime, and then I stir it like to create a vortex in it. All right. Then I hold it in my hands, in both of my hands, and I send intention into it and I speak into it. And then I sit it in the sun and I let it charge up for 30 minutes. And then my water is drinkable. Sometimes I charge up my water in the sun, like especially if I'm like have this idea that it's going to rain the next few days, then I'll fill up a bunch of my mason jars with water and I'll charge them all up so I know I won't have to worry about it. They're all charged. So sometimes I charge in advance. And so then my water is charged. I have it aligned to my frequency. I've spoken beautiful, empowering things. I actually speak light language into it, but that's me. And you would do whatever you want. You can tone into it, right? You can tone frequencies into it. You could sit it and play frequencies in your house and charge it up that way, right? You could do a bunch of different things. Ignore me, that makes me feel better. So there. If you go onto the page where there is the soul alignment tab, there's a free clarity call listed on that page. Just book it through that one there, because then I'll block it out in my calendar and everything. And then I'll know that it fits in as well. So yeah, and it'll be a Zoom meeting. So it'll just be you and me on Zoom. Yeah, because that way there we can hang out for a little bit. Anticipate it to take longer than 30 minutes. I think we all understand you here, Angelique. Is that your true name? Or is that like, I feel like it's a moniker. Hi, Gigi. Thank you, guys. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. So yes, we understand you. Okay. So for our practical stuff, one, we can anoint the voice by sipping water slowly and acknowledging it as a conduit of sound. Okay. And then you're going to whisper into the bowl of water or into your water, let this carry truth, and then drink it. Okay. So there's a practice with water to anoint the voice. So you would just have your water, right? You're acknowledging it as a conduit of sound, whispering into it, let this carry truth, and then just sip it. Beautiful name. Beautiful name. 2, tone the core. So place one hand on your heart, one hand on your throat. So here and here, or here and here, whichever is more comfortable for you. So hand on your heart, hand on your throat. I keep getting my sleeves caught on the handles. On your throat. And you're going to hum until you feel it into your chest and just allow it to move through. Okay. So, breathe. Breathe. So there, you're toning your throat through that. So you can do that as much as you like, just feeling the wave. The other thing you can do is speaking into the earth, right? So by speaking into the earth, you can say things like, I restore what was broken. I let the land remember wholeness. And you can even do this into water and then pour it into the earth as well, right? Let this carry truth. Let this, I restore what is, oh, thank you, Carol. I restore what was broken. Let the land remember wholeness and then pour it into the earth. Okay. So we're doing that healing. The episode last week, we were talking about the sky remembering your prayers, right? And remember, water has memory and the air is filled with water. Filled with water. So all the memory, all the remembering that's all around you and accessible, right? Catch those. Catch those, right? So stand, lift your arms up. You try. Lift your arms up. There we go. Okay. And I know I can stand too, but lift your arms up and just release a single tone, whatever tone you want, right? Whatever tone works for you, no words, and just allow that breath be encoded, just raw and clear. So it's just whatever comes, rises from your chest. What sound did you make? What sound did you make? So you can go do that. Go wake up in the morning, put your feet on the ground, and just do whatever sound you want. Tone, right? Tone into the earth. Same one. We all awed, which is really cool because awe is a frequency of the heart chakra, right? So we all connected to the heart chakra and sent that out there. That's so beautiful. The other thing that we can do is we can kneel or sit and press both hands into the ground. Okay, so we're putting our palms on the earth and we're just going to speak to the earth. I am the restoration. Oh, thank you, love. I am the restoration. I am the sound of sacred repair. And if you can't get outside, then you vision yourself doing it. And you could vision yourself doing this at the pyramids of Giza. You could envision yourself at Mount Shasta. You could envision yourself anywhere that you want, doing that in your mind and be there, right? You've been there before. There's a reason why you're connecting to certain sites. It's because you either walked there in previous lifetimes or it's calling you back there now because it wants you to restore something that was lost. If you can't travel by plane, travel by mind and go there and do what you need to do. Right? We are meant to remember our truth, embody it, and that's the wave. As I waken up, do you know how many people I wake up around me? And it's not about waking them up into the exact same spot that I'm in. The conversations I've had with my children, with my friends, with strangers, I'm the person that speaks the truth regardless of whether they want to hear it. They just get it anyway. No, I don't do, I haven't, I've never done any of the agency stuff. This is what our truth is. This is what we meant to come here and embody, the truth of who we are, so that not only we remember, everybody around us remembers, and we ring the bell of frequency within us that it reminds everything else. It just resonates, right? Like my poor maintenance dude, like the first day that he was here, like the conversation that we ended up having. So then he's telling my landlord, she's a conspiracy theorist. My landlord shows up, he's a conspiracy theorist. So next thing you know, we're having another conversation and I'm giving them even more information and more information and more information, right? Yeah. I'm not here for those things. I'm here for education and to remind people of who they are and what they're here for, so that they can go and embody that. So that they can go and embody that. I do my lives twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern. Although I do think about switching that to an evening show, but I'm trying to discuss that with the people that watch me now. Maybe a 3 p.m. We'll just do it 3 in the afternoon and we'll just hunker down inside our air-conditioned houses and meet up for afternoon tea and tea and teaching, right? The T stands for teaching or Tanya or truth. T stands for a lot in my world. So yeah, but right now it's 11 a.m. Eastern, those 2 times a week. Yeah. Alrighty, so we've done our practices. Remember those practices. Now I'm going to do some of the common questions that get asked about voice, like sacred voice technology. Number one thing that people say is, what if I don't like the sound of my voice? Or I don't like the sound of my voice. Yeah, I don't know why you would say sir. I'm not sure why you would say sir at all, because I do not look like a sir, even if I may be identified as such. I like that would just be, but I don't. I don't. I was born back when it was girl and boy, and I still identify as a woman. I identify as a womb, as someone who has a womb. Not a sir. I would never be called a sir. Love you. Love you. Have fun. All right. So what if I don't like the sound of my voice? Your discomfort may stem from trauma, silencing, or identity distortion. There's the potential for that there's some underlying reason why you don't like the sound of your voice. As you purify your intention, the tone refines, right? Like it absolutely refines. And trust the sound even before it's beautiful. Just allow it to rise. Part of the problem is that you're saying the voice, so you're hearing it, like you hear it inside your head in a muffled space, right? You're hearing it through that space. It's resonating through the bones, and then you're hearing it out back in through your ears. It takes a little while. When I was first starting out, like I've been doing this for 4 years, like being in the public eye and doing YouTube. Like I've been on TikTok and YouTube for 4 years now. So when you're first doing content, you're reviewing all of the things that you're saying when you're putting it up. It's really hard to watch and listen to yourself for a while, like in the beginning, but then it becomes second nature and you become comfortable with it. Now it doesn't bother me at all. And half the time when I say stuff or when I'm looking at myself, I just think to myself, I love you. That's all I think about is I love you. Right? I love you. That's what I usually say is, or I think about was what I said, did I say it clearly? Did I enunciate? Like I look at it more for those reasons. I don't review it to criticize myself. I don't criticize my voice anymore. My voice sounds okay to me because I've heard it so many times played back to me. Okay. So trust the sound even before it's beautiful. It's kind of like the post that I put up about God doesn't wait for your house to be clean before he comes inside, right? You don't need to wait for your house to be clean before you invite God inside. God shows up even when there's a mess, because God is always there. God's within. So and I mean prime source, not no distorted or religious concepts there. Oh, that hair tickled me. Can I still heal the earth if I whisper or hum silently? Yes, because it's not about the volume, it's about the frequency, right? It's the frequency of your voice. So the purity of the intent, if you are embodying the truth, you are toning and the intention is clear and you're saying it, that's it. You don't have to be, you can be, right? You can be in there whispering, I send healing to you. I heal you. I send out the frequency to remember. Right? You don't have to be yelling from the rooftops. And not all of us came with the mission of wanting to be a public facing person within the awakening. Right? I did. I came with the mission that I wanted to restore the information. I wanted to help people remember. I came with that. I want to restore the sacred knowledge that has been lost over the eons, right? I want to restore the sacred texts and bring the truth back. That's something that I want to do, but not doing it for likes or for followings or for any of that. I'm doing it because I want to do it, because I mean to do it, and that's it. So it's just about embodying that. It's the frequency. So the purity of intention travels into the quantum field. Even in silence, the sound still exists vibrationally, right? So even in your mind, echoing those thoughts in pure and in complete embodiment is going to have resonance through the frequency because the frequency is completely aligned. Same thing if you're thinking the thoughts, believing the belief, and feeling the feelings, your thoughts have power to make you incoherent, to make you move you out of alignment or align you with the things that you don't want, like fear and scarcity and lack, right? So you have to be careful. It's a compound effect, right? It starts with thought, then moves into from thought into more and more and more, right? So from belief into thought, into feeling, into resonance, into all of it together. And that just disrupts you even more. So work with water, do mirror work, and one word decrees, like just truth, peace, remember, right? We'll go for a walk and just be peace, 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 and just seed peace into the world. Peace. Whisper it under your breath. Think it in your mind. Just think, I am a beacon of peace. I walk in peace and I send peace out into the field. I send peace into the earth and I send peace into the people around me. I send peace into all the animals and every living being is experiencing the peace that I am feeling within my body. Right? I am truth. I speak I am resonating truth. I walk truth through through nature. I walk, every step is a step of truth, right? That's the kind of the way that you can do it with just doing a one word instead of speaking decrees and things if you're not comfortable with making decrees. So is light language a form of earth healing? Yes, when sourced from your oversoul and not ego or inflation. There are many people that do things from a very egoic space, and they are under glamour overlays, or without realizing it, instead of connecting to their oversoul and to prime source, they're connecting through some intermediary or some other soul, which maybe isn't Krystically aligned, which is a false light, and is leading them a bit astray. So it's always important to know where you're connecting before channeling, before sourcing it out. So true light language encodes tones from humility. Not like your own nervous system will tell you when it's when you're being coherent, right? You will feel that it is balanced, stable, peaceful, grounded energy, and it resonates, right? It just has that resonant feeling. So how do I know if I'm not projecting distortion into the field? Anchor through your oversoul. Ask, is this mine or is it truth? And then speak only when you are in stillness and humility. Your nervous system will register that coherence, right? It knows. True light language, it's encoding the tones from multidimensional awareness, bypassing that distortion, right? Because it's not getting tied up in language, and language has been hijacked. So when I'm speaking, I have to be cautious about the language that I'm using, right? And they did that on purpose. So things like work week, right? So that it is seeding that within the statement that you're putting. You know, when we say good morning, the terminology that we use is important, which is why it would be better to say divine rising or grand rising or good day, or, you know, other things like that. Welcome can be one of those ones where, yes, I may want to welcome you into the environment, but I want to be careful because I don't want you to welcome you to complete and utter access, right? There's boundaries to the access that I'm giving you when I do welcome you into a space. So you have to be careful. Like people that put welcome signs outside their door, what are you welcoming in? Are you standing there and gate and like saying, well, what are you bringing in? Okay, yep, you're welcome, right? If you were to, you know, like you have to be aware of that, right? So if you have a welcome mat or you have a welcome sign on the outside of your door, consider whether or not you want to have an open frequency of welcome to your house. Do you want anything's welcome to come in at any time? You're welcome. So think about things like that. That's important, right? Those are little tiny little things that we can do. Okay, so we've got our Oversoul invocation. So we're going to say this invocation. This is also in the free journal that's on the free site. I said free as many times as I can. It's a free membership group. You can get free journals twice a week that are in alignment with the live that I put out. If you want to watch the live again, you can watch it on the YouTube channel because they're in the live tab of the videos. So you can definitely watch it there. And if you want anything further, just check with me on my website. I talked about the voice that heals the earth today because I released a book on solstice that is the voice that remembers the earth. And it is a love letter to Mother Gaia and the elements. And I hope that you enjoy and appreciate it. It has practices and rituals, and it's poetic, and it's a beautiful book to Mother Gaia. So that's available on Amazon worldwide as a physical book, or you can purchase it on my website, Anshara'El.com/shop, where most of my books are starting to be uploaded to as ebooks. So there's quite a few ebooks that are available there, mostly children, but there are the 2 adult books, which would be The Voice That Remembers the Earth, and also the Divergence Code, which is the truth. The Krystic truth, or divine truth, is actually how I wrote it. The divine truth about ADHD and neurodivergent souls. So that book is on there as well. Check out the groups that are there. And like I said, if you have any questions, a clarity call or sending me a message is the best place to go. But this is our invocation. So if you can say it out loud, perfect. If you can't, say it silently in your mind or just whisper it. But speaking it back is important. So, Oversoul presence, I welcome you into my breath. And then we're going to breathe. Let every word be wrapped in truth. Let every sound I carry rebuild the sacred. I do not sing to perform. I sing to remember. I do not speak to be heard. I speak to align. Let my voice vibrate in harmony with the land. Let my tone clear the wounds of forgotten timelines. Let my breath restore Eden. I sing the earth whole again. Let it be so. And so it is. So the journal prompts that are in the journal page, that's the PDF that's available on the website, is what parts of the earth ache when I silence my truth? What belief have I inherited about the power of my voice? What sound lives in me that I have not yet released? And what phrase could I speak each day to assist Gaia's healing? The mantra to anchor is my voice is sacred structure. My tone is planetary medicine. There's an embodiment practice, and then there's a seal that you do at the end of the practice, and all of that's available in the free guide that's in the free group that's on my website called it's on Anshara'El.com in the group called Temple of Light. So enter the temple, join the free group, get the free guide, and have a fabulous time. These are done every day. There is so much so much information that you guys are missing out on. That is in these groups that I have. I keep putting the information out there because what do? I speak to align, not to be heard. I speak to timelines, not to individuals, right? So I keep speaking and I keep producing and creating and I keep resonating in the truth and I keep putting it out there. And it doesn't matter if there's only one person that receives it. It's still the frequency is being put out there. So if you're looking for a membership group, check out the ones that I have there because there's a lot of different value in the different groups that are there, or check out the other stuff that I have. I love you. Check the Walk With Me Now tab because it has the offers that I have that are available, which may be a bit short term, and that's under the donation ones. I'm not sure if I'm going to create a permanent offering of those things, but they're offers for now, and that's the soul letter, the oracle voice note, and the guardian activation. I don't know how long those will be available, but anyway, I love you guys. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you on Thursday. I'm not sure what I'm doing on Thursday yet for the live. I'm going to look at that today and start channeling that episode through. So I can't even give you a heads up, but I'll see you on Thursday for more of the truth and the more of the frequency. Love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Have a great Tuesday. Have a great day. Love you. Hit the like.